Hi, it's Jackie Sullivan with Property Management Tools, and today's focus is on eliminating delinquency. One of the ways that you can do this is by contacting those perpetual delinquent residents who just can't seem to get ahead and have a serious conversation with them. Let them know that rent comes first. Train them on the ways to pay the bills. If they have a management issue with managing their money, teach them the ways to pay the bills. And if they need to perhaps get an extension on the car or maybe one on the power bill, instruct them on how to do that so they can go ahead and get ahead and their rent is always paid on time. Let them know also that by paying late, they're increasing the amount of money they have to pay because they have to pay the late fee, perhaps even an attorney fee. Go over this with them and encourage them to pay rent on time and to save money for themselves. Another thing to do too is to train the property, all the residents, on when to pay rent. If you've had a delinquency problem, you want to hone that in, reel it back in, and let's go back to the lease contract, back to basics. You want to send out a letter clarifying to everyone on the property that we will now be going strictly by the lease contract and rent is due on the 1st. It's late whatever day it shows late on the lease contract. So again, those perpetually late residents, you want to give them a telephone call, have them come in your office and have that serious conversation with them. Let them know that you will be filing the eviction on whatever day the lease says. If the rent is late after the 5th, maybe you can file by the 10th. Or if it's due by the 3rd, maybe you can file by the 6th or the 7th. So you want to be more aggressive with this, and you want to communicate with them on a regular basis and let them know what is expected of them. Do this about 60 to 90 days before you enforce it. Have a conversation with them a couple of times. The perpetually late people, you want to have that conversation about 5 to 6 days before rent is due again, just to, one, clarify that they know rent is due, and that, two, they have the money for it. Let them know the funds in which you accept payment, whether it be electronic payment, check, or money order, and what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So after 2 or 3 months of communicating with them, you need to stay firm after implementing this new procedure with following the lease contract. So if they are late, there is no going back. I mean, they have to pay the late fee. They have to pay any penalties that come with that. You need to file for eviction on the date that you stated that you were going to file. On everyone, you need to practice fair housing. It is for everyone across the board. So that is why you need to have a serious conversation with these perpetually late people. But in doing so, the first 2 or 3 months, it can be kind of hard because everyone's going to have excuses why they can't pay on time. But stay strong, stay focused, and within 4 or 5 months, you'll have zero delinquency. Also, a thing to remember is if you collect fees, pet fees, water fees, etc., don't accept any rent payment without the total amount being paid. It's very important that this be handled correctly, because if not, they'll pay the rent and may not pay the water bill, and you may have a 5 or 6 month water bill if yours is not managed correctly. So I encourage you to not accept the rent unless all fees are involved and collected, and you can put that on the letter that goes out to the residents as well. It's just a good practice to have in place. It makes your life so much easier. It's harder at first, but eventually you'll be the superstar because you'll have zero delinquency on your property, and your residents will be happy because you just saved them $300 to $400 a month in late fees, etc. So good luck to you, and if you need any more tools for this, please go to my website. I'll be happy to help.